Every K-pop fan has their origin story. It's that moment when something just clicks and you realize that you will love a certain group with all your heart and your time and your energy and your money. But how do you first enter the Hallyu rabbit hole and what happens then? Hi, I'm Rappler's lifestyle and entertainment editor Margie De Leon, and in this latest episode of Hello to Hallyu, Rappler's roundtable talk show on Korean pop culture, we talk to the team's resident K-pop fans as about how they got into K-pop in the first place. So, hi everybody.
Hello.
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 So, basically, maraming mga Rappler K-pop fans. So, if you've seen the past two episodes, you haven't seen these faces kasi we have a lot. We have a lot of other Rappler K-pop fans to go through. So, ito yung hot debut ng aming tatlong bagong panelists, so to speak. So, here's Krista from Digicoms.
Hello.
And there's Ree from Research.
Hello, everyone.
And Dylan from Data.
Hello.
Okay, so let's get right to the topic. Sige, isa-isa, parang how did you first come across K-pop? Like, what was the first taste of K-pop na naranasan nyo? Let's start with Ree.
Okay. Hello, I'm Rita Caro of the research unit. So, my first taste of K-pop, kasi I'm kind of new to K-pop compared to our other coworkers. So, I only got into K-pop in 2018. And what happened was, my best friend and I had lunch one day. And may dala siyang parang NCT photo book. At the time, it was Empathy, I think, na lumabas pa lang noon. So, bumili siya ng photo book and dinala niya yun sa lunch namin. And parang she was flipping through the pages and ayun, may parang certain boy doon na na na-attract ako kasi very visually attractive siya and appealing din yung photo shoot na yun. So, na-intriga ako sa NCT. And then the following days, I really parang delved into NCT as a group. So I started listening to their songs. And then may time nga na there was, I think, a whole day na lang ako sa NCT. Parang I went through their content lang and their discography. So that was my gateway to the K-pop world.
I see. So, nag-umpisa, malandi ka lang talaga. Tapos,
Essentially.
Oo.
Yeah.
How about Dylan?
Oh, for me, I guess it was back in 2008, 2009. Me and my sister loved channel surfing in TV. And then we came across this Korean channel. I think it was channel 61. I forgot the number. But yun. At that time, there was this music show playing. I think it was called Pops in Seoul. And then one of these big groups were playing. I think it was Super Junior. And then after that, it was Girls' Generation. And it's different from the music that I usually hear. And I wasn't a music person back then. I was high school, but I don't really enjoy music. But this one kasi, like, ang daming sumasayaw, and then ang daming kumakanta, ang daming nangyayari sa music video. This was Girls' Generation G, and then Super Junior, Sorry Sorry. So you can imagine the like, oh, it's so much color, so much movements. And then that's what I'll be interested in it. And I guess that's what started the seed
I
of
see. So,
K-pop.
parang sensory overload. That's
Yeah,
parang you
yeah.
put it, yeah. Actually, it's funny that you mentioned Girls' Generation and Super Junior because we did a call out on Rappler about the first K-pop group that they ever stand, and a lot of people answered that those two groups. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So
It's
ikaw naman,
our
Krista.
awakening.
Magka-generation atag din kami ni Dylan kasi yung first exposure ko sa K-pop was during high school din around 2008, 2009. Parang acquaintance party namin noon and parang pinasayaw kami ng ano, Fire by 21. So parang yun nga, sobrang energetic ng vibes ng K-pop and na-appreciate ko yung pagka-energetic but then mas when I appreciated music, when I appreciated music back then, parang more onto lyrics ako. So since yun nga, K-pop is in Korean language, hindi ko siya masyadong na-appreciate. So fast forward to parang 2018, parang kasagsagan na ng third generation K-pop. So many of my friends and acquaintances were into Blackpink, Red Velvet, Twice. So parang even my boyfriend got into Blackpink. And I was like, parang the per the person I wouldn't expect to get into K-pop. So that really um piqued my interest. So ayun, nakinig ako ng Blackpink, and then that's when I understood the hype.
I see. So, when you get into K-pop, syempre parang you do stick to one particular group. Pero syempre there are other groups that you enjoy. So like ano yung criteria nyo for liking a particular group? Like pag may nagde-debut na bagong group, parang how do you assess kung magustuhan mo siya o hindi? Anyone can start.
Me, kasi, like I said kanina, like, I'm kind of not a music person. That's why I think that I really got into K-pop kasi hindi siya not just about the lyrics and the musicality, but also the dance moves. So I guess for me, um, it's those intricate choreographies that get me hooked into a K-pop group. So if you're gonna notice, like most of the groups that I stand are really into dancing, or like they're known for like synchronized choreography or maybe very intricate formations and stuff. So yeah, that's what I consider. That's my general.
Mm.
Yeah.
Criteria. That's so
Yeah.
interesting, no? Kasi usually, like, when you're a fan of something, like, you're a fan of an actor, you're a fan of the actor's acting. If you're a fan of, like, a band, you're a fan of the band's music. But when you're a fan of a K-pop group, like, ang daming, parang
Different.
aspects or, 'di ba? Like, ang galing. Ikaw, Krista?
Same with Dylan. Very particular ako with choreographies of K-pop groups. That's what made me got into Luna, which is my ultimate K-pop group right now. They're very known with their synchronized choreographies na very intricate din. At the same time, um I tend to like K-pop groups with very very good discographies. Um, pag ang tawag dito, pag their music offers something na I haven't really heard in from other artists before, I tend to gravitate towards those kinds of K-pop groups.
Sige. Ikaw naman, Ree.
I have to fact check myself pala.
Oh my God,
after,
okay. A
after
true fact
listening to
checker.
after listening to Dylan and Krista's responses, parang na-realize ko I was familiar then with yung mga songs ng Super Junior and Shiny like Ring Ding Dong and also To Anyone because I grew up listening to or parang nagtumutugtog din sila sa radio. But what really got me into K-pop and what got me interested into it was I have to parang when I come across their song na I can repeat for days or weeks on end, parang dun talaga ako nahuhulog sa group na yon. So what happened with NCT was I first listened to Baby Don't Stop and I didn't stop listening to that for a while. And then and also parang I stan a lot of boy groups kasi. So I get into a boy group parang for example, The Boys. I listened to Thrill Ride and talagang hindi ko ilang araw ko rin yun pinaulit-ulit. So, ayun, apart from their music or that one song na hindi ko I can't get enough of, I also like it when the group has a really good dynamic. Kasi when I start looking into their content, sometimes hindi ko sila magiging medyo vibes. So if
Mm,
I enjoy watching their content and I can see that their group dynamic really is really fun or parang natatawa ako. That's when I watch more and more of their content and that's when I start to stand them.
right. So, being a K-pop fan, it takes a lot of time and effort. Like, hindi lang just parang, oh, I like their song, or diba? Parang, so, how do you differentiate between being a casual listener and like more of an active fan? Like, ako, I like Mamamoo because just like a few months ago, like this is super new. Like I saw a video of them singing a cappella. Tapos parang sobrang galing nilang kumanta. Like they're really like voice talaga yung ano nila, yung strength nila, 'di ba? So parang so I really got into them. Pero parang I still don't feel like I'm a true blue fan talaga because parang feeling ko hanggang doon lang, hanggang sa YouTube videos lang muna ako. Like, what are your criteria for differentiating between like, okay, legit ka or hindi? Anyone?
I guess for me, um, siguro ako, I wouldn't consider myself to have like the face na casual listener to like avid fan agad. For my K-pop aspect, siguro it's either zero, you don't know about them, or like you really stand them. There was no in between for me. It's like you just watch all their content or you don't. And if I'm gonna categorize other people as casual listeners or avid fans, I wouldn't kasi I don't know, it seems very gatekeepy to me. Na parang,
Mm,
"Ah, okay, you're just a casual fan. You don't deserve like you're not really a fan of this certain K-pop group, then you don't belong here." Yun lang yung that's what my thinking is like you're just a stan or you're not.
okay. How about the others?
For
For
me,
me,
sorry.
Ay,
oh,
sabay.
go ahead.
Sige, Siri na lang muna.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Um, it's more of, same with Dylan, parang hindi ko sasabihin sa ibang tao na, ay, hindi ka naman, totoong stan. Pero what I do for myself is, I either say na I stan the certain group versus I like this group. So, for example, for some groups, I really like their songs, but I don't actively keep up with their activities, with their, I don't actively watch their content, but I really like I think they're talented and I like listening to their music versus when I stan a group, I really follow them and I follow accounts that monitor their content, their activities, and parang post gifs of them or parang yung photo sets nila. So when I'm really deep into the group that I want to keep updated with them, that's when I say I stan them. But when I'm a casual listener, I don't necessarily parang follow their content.
Right. It's kind of like if you like an actor and then you start like looking into their IMDb and like getting into like their past and whatever and like who they're dating and whatever. Yeah.
Oo. Yung
I can get
equivalent
that.
niyan is K-profiles ata.
Ah,
Yes.
yeah. Tama. Ayun. Tapos ikaw, Krista.
Based lang from my observations, being exposed to Twitter in general and in the very niche K-pop Twitter, I've I think being a casual listener means just digging into the songs or the music videos of the artist. Pag may nakikita kang announcement na may comeback sila, oh okay, I'm going to check it out. Whereas pag avid fan, parang fina-follow mo talaga yung day-to-day activities ng artists na ina-idolize mo, and even to the point na if they're performing on music shows or being or they're nominated in awards and stuff, you're very active in voting and encouraging other fans to vote, ganon. So um ayun, but I do agree with Ri and Dylan na just because you prefer to just listen to the music or just keep up with their comebacks and not really participate in the nitty-gritty fan activities like voting, yung pag-stream, ganun. That doesn't mean na wala ka ng karapatan maging fan. So, ayun, K-pop should be open for everyone, whether you're a casual listener or an avid fan.
Okay. That's very comforting to me. Tas I will take that as ano, as approval from the three of you. Okay. So, was it challenging to be a K-pop fan? Like, were there any hurdles you had to overcome while getting into K-pop, or like, was there any part of fan culture that you found intimidating or difficult to handle?
I think I'm gonna go first again. I think in
Go.
relation to what we've all stated earlier is that there are some fans or like some entities who like to gatekeep their groups or the groups that they stand. In that um they say na you don't deserve to actually get this merch if you don't like stand the group. Actually, there was a meme I think last year. This is a meme naman. It's sarcasm, pero it encapsulates the phenomenon on saying remember if you remember there was this BTS meal that was advertised by a fast food chain, and then it was worldwide, and then there was this post saying na you can't parang wag niyo daw i-order yung BTS meal kung hindi naman kayo ARMY or BTS stan because you don't know the meaning of the sauces that they used in
Oh,
that meal. And di ba, you don't know. So it's so it's yeah, that's the extreme. That's the sarcastic scenario. But it extends to other phenomena like you can't attend this concert if you're not a true stan. You gen ad lang kayo dapat, or like you can't attend this fan sign, blah blah blah, etc. You can't have this merch if di naman talaga kayo, di nyo kilala lahat ng members, or maybe even people who gatekeep other fans who are only fans of certain members of the group. Some I think I'm digressing. I'm saying everything. Basically, the general thing is that I find it hard for new people to actually to actually appreciate that group if there are some like fans who like gatekeep them. So there, yun lang naman yung ano ko.
Right, right. How about Ree?
Uh, I feel similar to what Dylan said because a lot of the groups I stand later on, parang medyo they've been around for a while. So, for example, I became a Shawol or a Shiny fan in 2021 lang. They debuted in I think a decade ago, right? So parang na-intimidate ako kasi I have so much history to catch up on with the group. And parang I hesitate sometimes to talk about certain things kasi I didn't exactly go through their journey with them. I'm very new. Sa buong career nila, parang isang taon pa lang ako naging witness to it. So, yeah, parang as Dylan said, parang if you're new to K-pop, it might feel intimidating to interact with other fans who are not so friendly to to new fans and feel like they have a sense of parang seniority or something and parang therefore have more rights to standing that group. Ayun lang.
Yeah, I kind of get that kasi 'di ba like yun when I got into Mamamoo just like very recently, and they're technically an old group na, they're a previous generation. So parang yun nga, so parang I feel a slight hiya na parang alam mo yun, parang like laos na yung pinapanggan ko, or I don't know, basta there's just this like weird stigma na nararamdaman ko. But those are my issues. Ikaw, Krista.
Um, I did observe yung mga gatekeeping scenarios na minention ni Dylan and Ree. There's also one thing I'm intimidated with, which is the parasocial relationships between the fans and the K-pop artists. Because parang it's one thing to like a group's music and to follow their content, but it's another thing to act like parang best friend mo na yung K-pop artist, o parang um may um community, parang may apps kasi or websites where fans can directly interact with K-pop artists, and parang may ibang fans na they tend to message artists na parang personal mo silang kilala, and parang parang may certain parang it's part of the K-pop artist's job to be to be engaging with fans, but I do think there's a boundary between there should be a boundary na dapat i-enforce, just because they're entertainers, just because they have to engage with fans doesn't mean that we have to violate their privacy, or um to treat them like we're free um to talk to them without considering being sensitive to them or to their feelings, ganun.
Yeah, that's also a very unique aspect no of K-pop culture, the ability to be very parang hands-on with your fandom with certain fans. Like I would imagine like Hollywood actors, they don't do that. Like talagang there's a very big, it's like there's a PR barrier between them, diba? So
Mm.
parang yeah. So we're actually down to our last two questions. What motivates you to stay in a certain fandom? Like, of course, like over time, there might be times when you start falling out of love with a group. Like, I think that's natural, naman. So did that ever happen to you? And how did you feel about it? And like, what made you decide na okay, ibang group na lang ako or whatever? Dylan, since you start everything.
I guess I guess it's the continuous connection that you feel with the group and or with the members of the group and yourself. Uh, I have to admit that I have fallen out of like standing certain groups. I mean, I still listen to them. Oh, kanina sabi ko like I'm a stan or not. So I think yeah, I'm gonna fact check myself also and say that I'm already just a casual listener to some of groups I previously stand. But I think because what made me stay with the group that I stand now is that I feel a connection between like them and me, like their personality, how they deal with life, that they're sobrang humanized nila na outside the stage or like behind the stage, after like all the live shows and stuff. Um, I think content such as okay, I'm just gonna say it na yung it's called Going 17. It's like a hindi naman reality, parang reality show ng 17 ng members ng 17. And then they show like how they do vacation, like how they spend a normal day basically. Um Things like that, and that's where their character really shows. Like some people are like just quiet, some people are like get ano yun, mga outgoing people, and then some members are basically includers that they want to like they don't want to feel let others feel left out, etc. So things like that is something like, hey, I can be like that din pala, or like, hey, this person is quiet din pala at times, or like, hey, this person has can have problems with anxiety, etc. And that's what makes them human, and it resonates then to me na oh like we can be parang it's you look at them like a role model, and that's what keeps me staying standing whatever group I stand.
Okay, like the humanization of them.
Yeah.
Kumbaga. Ikaw, Ri.
For me, it's not necessarily parang falling out of love with the group. The closest I can think of it is like low maintenance friendship. Kakasabi lang ni Krista na wag itrato as friend yung mga K-pop idols. But it's more of parang sometimes kasi they go on break for a long time or parang may mga nag-enlist sa group so they don't have any comebacks for a while. Or what happened with GOT7, parang I got into seven I got into GOT7 during the pandemic. So that was 2020. And then in the parang November 2020 yata. And then 2 months later, nag-announce sila na alis na sila ng JYP. So I was like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And then, so ayun, parang they went into their solo careers. And I don't necessarily follow all of them because it's a lot. So when they came back, of course, I was really happy to see them as a group again. So it's more of like that. Parang may ups and downs ang relationship ko with the K-pop group, but it doesn't mean that um, I don't I don't love them anymore or parang I don't stand them anymore. It's more of sa lahat ng ini-stan ko, syempre parang may comebacks one after the other among all the groups, and to keep my sanity rin and to parang to not burn myself out in fandom. I choose which ones to prioritize, kumbaga, or parang I don't pressure myself to keep up with all of them. What motivates me to stay, I guess, is um, kung what made me fall in love with them in the first place, yung personalities nila, yung group dynamics nila. It doesn't sour over the years. What would really turn me off is if one of them comes out as a bad person pala.
Mm.
And hindi sila makik sa group.
Mm.
Ayun.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds very logical and level-headed naman. Ikaw naman, Krista.
Agree ako with Lee na what makes me fall out of or lose interest in a K-pop group is if my member na reveal na bad person pala. That has
Mm,
happened to many groups I was interested in before. What makes me stay naman in a fandom is if the K-pop group continues to provide something new palagi. So in the case with Luna, sorry, magpa-fangirl ako saglit. So parang
that's what we're
um
here for.
so kasi they offer something new every comeback they release. So even during their pre-debut project where each of them debuted as solo artists and then subunits. So my different genres sila na present every time. So my elegant dramatic orchestra classical inspired na music, my girl crush na very summery vibes. Tapos, nung nag-debut na sila, yung parang high teen, very bubblegum pop. Tapos, nag girl crush ulit. Tapos, nag Bollywood inspired, bombastic na comeback. Tapos, ngayon, with their recent comeback, parang nag elegant summery vibes ulit. So, parang, um, that what that's what makes me stay interested in a group pag parang they surprise me all the time, so
Yeah.
parang hindi ka mag-expect what will come next from them, so yun.
Mm-mm. You can really tell how much Krista loves Luna kasi parang when she talks about them, talagang like kumikinang yung mata niya. Like there's a as 'di ba? As in, na-notice din ba ninyo? As in talagang like kumikinang yung mata
Oo.
niya. Like she has this far
Mm.
away look. Ang galing, wala lang. Nakakatuwa. Sige,
Pag
so
may
we're
stories
actually
na yung Rappler about Luna, parang sinasabi ko na nagsasuggest na ako ng mga captions para sa ano,
tama.
ayun.
Ayun. So, see, this is a very like sa Rappler very collaborative ang mga tao, especially when it comes to their passions, 'di ba? So, we're down to our last question. So, what's your favorite part of being a K-pop fan and how would you encourage potential fans to get into K-pop? So, our leader for today, Dylan.
Lead Um siguro for me it's solidarity and empathy. Ito na naman tayo sa solidarity from last time. um kasi I don't know. I guess when fans of a certain fandom like stand for something, they really stand for something, and it's very wala namang well, yes, there's a formal like Karat membership fan cafe and stuff, but not everybody is part of that. Is that pero like if a certain movement is happening already, ang ganda kasi the whole fandom is right behind you. I guess this is medyo serious na parang kasi this was I also work on is that K-pop fandoms were actually used for combating disinformation campaigns online. Na there was this phenomenon on Twitter na they were posting there was a certain hashtag that was medyo offensive. I forgot the hashtag. Pero na-reclaim siya ng K-pop fandoms because they posted yung mga fan counts ng mga stands nila, like ng mga groups nila. So, when a normal person searches for that hashtag, yung makikita nila, hindi na yung disinformation, puro na siya yung mga Lisa dancing to Swalla or something, etc. And that's what's so nice kasi you can these K-pop fandoms can be used for online social movements And it's very organic because wala silang main organizer na nagsasabi or i-push nyo to or like do this campaign. It's like everybody just hops in. And that's because that solidarity is also because of empathy. So that's my second point on how even if you don't know that person, kunyari kasama mo sa line na bumili ng ticket, parang you're instantly gonna click with each other because of a shared interest. You have shared experiences with these K-pop fandoms. And I think what's nice about K-pop groups is that it's more than just the music kasi people consume like yung everyday lives ng mga K-pop idols like when they're outside the stage and they emulate whatever values that those idols have. And kaya maganda yung empathy doon is that napapass on yung values na yon to yung fans, co-fans, and that's what makes it happy. Yun, it
Yeah.
transcends barriers.
Yeah. Like it's a very a community that lifts each other up, parang ganon.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So how about you, Ri?
I'm gonna talk about a more personal take than Dylan's
Sure.
kasi si Dylan mas broad din sa kanya. For me, yung favorite part ko talaga ng K-pop culture kasi I mostly consume K-pop to like I don't know, as a coping mechanism siguro from daily life. So parang when I watch their content, I want to feel happy or I want to laugh with them when they do something that's I don't know, it's laughable, I guess. So parang when I come across certain content from a group that resonates with me or that inspires me, that's one of the most meaningful um parang instances of my K-pop journey. So parang I have some K-pop idols that I really want to emulate. Like Dylan said, for example, Chinese Key and also si Kevin of the Boys. So parang when I watch their content at parang when I hear them say something that's really inspiring to me, that's yeah, I kind of carry it with me as I go back to my daily life. And also when there are moments of parang what do you say, parang when the group comes together and they produce something or they let us they share something meaningful with us. For example, yung from home orchestral version ng NCT. When that came out, I was really moved. As in, parang halos umiyak na ako nun cause parang you went through this group on for how long a time, and then they're sharing this really intimate moment with you. So parang I don't know, it's a sense of that familiarity and also a kind of intimacy that's not too parasocial for Krista. Charot. So parang ganon. And also when I'm present for their comebacks and when I experience those comebacks with fellow fans, it's really special. So it's more of those personal moments that really resonate with me.
Ganda. And finally, last but not the least, ang batang kumikinang ang mata, si Krista.
Okay, so so sorry, naglalag ako. I think you can never get bored with K-pop. With the number of K-pop artists out there, hindi ka talaga mawawala ng bagong music or bagong music videos to consume. You also hindi ka rin maubusan ng mga content, entertaining content from the K-pop artists, like yung mga reality shows nila, etc., etc. So also naano din ako sa sinabi ni Ri na ni Dylan na parang you tend to emulate yung mga values na pinopromote ng mga K-pop artists, which I don't think is too parasocial or violating their boundaries naman. Kasi I do admire din naman ng mga K-pop groups because of the values they emulate. So like the time that I first got into Luna, nung napanood ko yung music video nila sa Butterfly, na parang they were aside sa pag-feature ng choreography nila, they were featuring women from all backgrounds. So merong women from South Korea, merong black women. There were even Muslim women, which they say has never been done in other K-pop music videos before. So parang na-touch ako doon, and looking and consuming more of their content, parang ano din ako na-touch yung feminist side ko, na parang that belief na women can do anything, with the different genres or different types of choreographies they show, not just Luna but every other K-pop artists out there. So if they if they have good music videos, good choreography, and if they touch something in you that inspires you to be a better person, or to practice better values, then yeah, yun.
Ayun. So, very encouraging words from the three of you. So, with that, that ends our episode for today. Thank you, Reed, Dylan, and Krista, for being with us here today.
Thank
And
you.
hopefully, we can see you guys more in our next episodes. And yeah, I will require you all. And to our viewers, if there's anything K culture related that you want to talk to us about, or if you want to see people's photo card collections, please comment or tweet us with the hashtag hello_2_Hallyu. I'm Margie De Leon, and this was Hello to Hallyu.